I'm excited to welcome another movement champion to the stage. Allison Randall is the Principal Deputy Director for the Office on Violence Against Women at the U.S. Department of Justice. A lifelong champion for sexual and domestic violence prevention, Allison is passionate about OVW's mission and ensuring that its work meets the diverse needs of all survivors as it strives to prevent and end sexual assault, domestic violence, dating violence, and stalking. Please join me in welcoming Allison to the stage. Thank you, Bridget.
Y'all, there is a box to stand on up here. This is a dream come true. Thank you, Sandra. Good morning. Gosh, after such a long time apart, gathering together here is joyful, and there is so much power in that. And, thank you to Valor for bringing us all together and for focusing on equity in action. And I really want to thank Nicole and Keely and Leanne for grounding us in what that means, right? Equity in action. So at OVW, many of you know we're incredibly passionate about advancing equity in a meaningful way, right? With action. Equity without action, not so much, right? As funders, we have to invest in real action, and not just any action, transformative action. Now, obstacles to justice and to healing can feel insurmountable. But we travel the country and we meet with sexual assault service providers and with SARTs and with a lot of organizations who are serving communities and survivors, and they would never consider themselves victim service providers. We see you making that change, and you're making that transformation happen. Because the road to justice and healing isn't always linear, right? Survivors, especially those from underserved and historically marginalized communities, for those folks, the journey can be challenging, it can be dangerous. So to make equity real, we have to ensure that our services are tailored to the unique experiences of each survivor. And to make equity real, we have to build the infrastructure for change. To make equity real, we have to support organizations and strategies that are by and for communities, right? We have to support organizations that are building on the resources and the resilience of survivors and of communities. And at OVW, this is our top priority, to advance equity and tribal sovereignty as essential components of how we end sexual assault and domestic violence and stalking. We've got to vastly improve our responses to sexual assault. We've got to expand access to justice however survivors define that justice. These are some of our other key priorities, and this all intersects in working together and in our opportunity to work with you and support you. So we're operationalizing this, our commitment to equity, through grant making and through policy, and ensuring that our support reaches those who need it the most. So not only are we prioritizing organizations that are by and for historically marginalized and underserved communities, we're trying to do exactly what Nicole said, right? Collaboration when a grant is due, that is not collaboration. That's not going to cut it. It's got to be, how are we deeply, meaningfully partnering in the work that we're doing? There's a lot of organizations out there, some of you who are here in the audience, who have never been asked to be at the table. You can't imagine that DOJ might be on your side. So we've been really intensifying our outreach. Come and talk to us. There's a whole bunch of OVW folks here. We're trying to make that funding more accessible, easier. I know, right? Anybody had to use DOJ's Just Grant system? All right, us too, but I promise that OVW will bend over backwards to help you through that. And we've also got to ensure that, right, everything we fund, right, all of our services are culturally and linguistically appropriate, that survivors can get outstanding services wherever they go. This isn't a luxury, right? This is a necessity for all programs, and you taught us this, right? And that's why you are here. We've got to confront layers of systemic failures that survivors are facing when they're seeking justice. So that means we've got to celebrate together, we've got to fight together. And there's a lot of survivors here. We're survivors at OVW too, and we are standing with you. So come talk to us. We want to give you money. And that's because your voices are guiding us. Thank you so much. Let's change the world together. Thanks, everybody.